Hey guys, here's Louis. Hello guys, I brought you guys this morning to the bird cage here. I have my little girl recording me. Take a quick look around, Rosie, of the bird cage. Show everybody how packed the bird cage is right now. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then the other day I brought in on the gentleman's convertible, the 68 convertible here that I am building. I'm going to be doctoring up, and my goal is to start real hard. I mean, I'm going to get really busy starting December 1st. And I plan to tell him to come back to Pennsylvania somewhere in the spring to pick up the car, and I mean, for him to enjoy it from that point on. Today, I'm going to be bringing you guys inside the garage pretty soon and show you guys what I'm up to today on the Lovebird, because I need to get it done. And so if we come and check out over here, these parts. And by the way, I've been enjoying, Rosie, check. I've been enjoying my 67 Firebird a lot this fall because Pennsylvania weather is kind of crazy this year. We've been having all the way close to 80 degrees. It goes from like 80 to 70s for days and days. So I've been driving the 67 a whole lot that I didn't get to enjoy her in the summer, but I'm enjoying her in the fall. All right. Now, so these are the parts that the owner of Ladybird, which is the 1968 convertible I just finished showing you guys, have left off over here at my house in the bird cage here. And so I'm gonna be fixing these Camaro fenders that you see here, okay, these black fenders, and I'm gonna make it work for Firebird, for first gen Firebird. So stay tuned. That's a really good video. He has a whole bunch of things over there. He has the wiring harness. I have, I believe it's the brake lines and all that kind of stuff that I'm gonna get going on the car. Once I finish the metal work, I'll see how far from there he wants me to continue working on his car. So like I said, I'm gonna bring you guys now to the where all the magic happens, the home garage, and show you guys what I am up to today. All right, guys. So here I have my front suspension parts. Okay, I did a full rebuild on the lower and upper control arms, brand new bushings, brand new ball joints. Okay, and I actually forgot on what a pain in the butt they are, but I did it. I painted everything that needs to be painted. Like I said, when I build my cars, I do not put nothing in them if it's not cleaned and painted. So the sway bar has been cleaned and painted. All right. The steering arms, all that stuff has been painted. Now, though, that's the backing plates. These are the spindles that I'm using for the disc brake conversion. So let me knock out the front suspension. Okay, that's what I want to let you guys know. Let me knock out the front suspension, and once I finish installing all the front suspension, I'm going to piece and show you guys what did I pay part by part for the front disc brake conversion. And trust me, I saved a lot of money. So the overhaul of the front suspension, I got brand new inner and outer tie rods, front shocks, front springs, bump stops over here, sway bar bushings. I have all that brand spanking new. And this one being a convertible, I did order the springs, and that's from AutoZone, okay? The springs that will tell you that if it's a convertible car and even an AC car. So if you had a convertible or an AC car, all right, you had the more tougher springs. Okay, they was more stout. They will be harder to compress because they need to hold more weight. If you had the AC compressor, you know, the AC compressors of these cars originally, they are monsters. All right. And if you have a convertible, it's also heavier. Remember, it has more bracing, it has the cocktail shakers and all that kind of stuff that it takes. So that's what I bought. The original springs of the Lovebird, I actually have them down here. And let me tell you something, they are strong. So I believe somebody changed them somewhere in this life because they are so strong. I have the engine and everything installed, the transmission engine. I have a couple of things that I installed already. I'm going to show you guys. And believe me, there was no sags on the springs. Actually, the car set up nice, straight, and level. And I was surprised. My first car, that I don't touch the suspension and I put the drivetrain and she stays nice and straight. Usually these Firebirds, when the shocks are and the springs are really gone, I should say springs are really gone, the nose dips down. The nose of the bird starts dipping down, but this one was nice. So I'm going to probably clean these and just reuse them. They still strong. They just have rust on them, and that's surface rust. That's not rot or nothing like that, surface rust. So yeah, and I also paint the rest of the subframe that I could not get to when the suspension was still on it, but everything is nice and painted now. All right, and check this out. Here goes the engine bay. The engine is nice and painted. My headers are installed and nice and painted. I believe the owner of the Ladybird convertible also want headers installed in his car. Well, there you go. That's how the headers go. Okay, and let me give you guys a tip. Whoever's putting headers on a first gen Firebird, on the passenger side, this is the passenger side. Okay, I have done headers with the whole engine bay being assembled. You have to take out your oil filter, and the housing is a must. If you don't take it out, you're not going to be able to put it in. And the way you put in the header, you sneak it from the bottom to the top, and then it goes in. Okay. And there you go. It was excellent. And a matter of fact, I used a nice gasket. It's an aluminum gasket that has ridges on one side, like these square teeth, triangle teeth, I should say. And that faces the block. Okay, faces the head. The teeth does not face the other way. It faces the head. And let me share with you guys that part. There they go. These are the gaskets up there. I hope you guys can see that. That's the gaskets I use. I mean, they are excellent gaskets. I have used them before on my other birds. All my birds have headers right now. The only bird that is not gonna have headers will be the Trans Am 69 original. I'm gonna try to go as original as I can. 69 Trans Am. I also bought a brand new steering coupler, rag joint, some people call it. So she's on the power steering gearbox. I cleaned and painted my brake booster. That brake booster was given to me by a YouTube follower of mine. He also follows me on Facebook. He's a great guy. Okay, and yeah, I mean, he's an awesome person, and he gave me that brake booster for the Lovebird. Okay, and I painted the master cylinder, and the reason I paint the master cylinders is because they like to rust. So I what I do is I scuff them with a red Scotch Brite. I will clean it with a microfiber towel with some alcohol. I'll clean it about 3 times until I see the towel be clean. Then I let it dry and I start painting the paint. I used a rattle can Rust-Oleum gray paint. I believe it's called smoking gray. And guys, just take your time. Give it a light coat. Let it dry for about 30 minutes. Give it the next coat a heavier coat. Okay, let it dry for another 30 minutes. And the third coat will be heavier. Let that dry for at least I would say about 45 minutes or even up to an hour. And then paint it one more time. I did like about 4 coats. And that's what you got there. Now, the Pontiac engine, I don't know, on the phone, it looks a little, it doesn't look like really Pontiac blue. Now, it's not Pontiac blue 100% like the first generation Firebirds, but let me tell you something. If you do research of the second gen Firebirds, I mixed up the Rust-Oleum paint this time, and this blue looks even better than the white 68 engine color I gave that car. But it's a Pontiac, and as long as it's blue in my book, it's good. I don't want to see orange in here. I want to see blue. All right, and the way I mix this paint, I used a little bit of royal blue Rust-Oleum paint, white Rust-Oleum paint, and I use also the smoking gray Rust-Oleum paint. That's not rattle cans. It's a little small 8 ounces cans, and I just mixed them in a cup, stirred it around till I was happy. And then I used no reducer at all, and I used hardener from Tractor Supply. So pretty much a lot of people could just pick that up. All right, and when I mean I use a little bit of hardener, it was probably halfway of the cap that it comes with. But let me tell you something, that's a strong paint. Okay, I even mixed the Rust-Oleum that I did the subframe with hardener and all that. Okay, and I had to use a torch to torch out some of the, to give it heat to some of the lower control arm bolts. And let me tell you something. I was telling Jonathan from Vinyl Village Garage. Me and Jonathan is always talking. When we talk a lot about cars, believe me. And I was telling him, dude, this thing surprised me. The paint didn't even bubble up or anything. So I don't know. It was an experiment, and it hold up the heat. So I know it's gonna hold up the engine heat because the 68 Firebird has that same paint. And I've been driving the car around my land here in Pennsylvania. I haven't hit the road yet. One day I will hit the road with it, but the paint's intact. So there you go on that. Then I've been really extremely busy, like I said, and I painted all these parts here. I have my pulleys, I have my power steering bracket here, I have my power steering pump, my crank pulley, power steering pulley, and my cooling fan. All right, and again, you clean it. I use alcohol, wipe them down. And this is all rattle can. All this you see here is a rattle can satin black, all right, from Ace Hardware. That's the paint I use. If I can't find nothing there, I'll use the crayon. But everything is satin black, okay? So yeah, I've been extremely busy rebuilding front suspension, cleaning parts, painting parts. So another thing is, I also use the Rust-Oleum paint to paint the radiator. Okay, and yes, I did use hardener with it. And I'm telling you, that Rust-Oleum paint is a tough son of a gun. If you use a little hardener, believe me, it will last. So now that I got a couple of projects out my way, I had to help two buddies with their cars. That's the kind of guy I am. Okay, one of my buddies, his car, he needs it. That car, particularly the one I was fixing yesterday, he needs it for his kids to go to college and back home. So I did that for him. And then I have another friend of mine that he helps me with a lot of things that if it's going on with my house, like electrical, plumbing, he's always there for me. So I'm there for him on the side of the cars. And I knocked that out for him yesterday. It was a pickup truck, and the fuel lines was all rotted out. And between me and him, we installed brand new fuel lines yesterday. It was a long day for Louis yesterday. I mean, I think I was like on that car for at least 4 hours, maybe even more. All right, but it got done. He's happy. His wife is happy. They just finished calling me. So today, Louis will dedicate his Sunday to the Lovebird. I have to get back to this car to make sure that she turns on and moves under her own power, because I need her to drive out of here so I could bring Ladybird, because I'm not going to be cutting and welding on Ladybird here and having this car just sitting here receiving all those sparks. And I'm not going to do that. And now I need the coolant lines. All right, I like to use a transmission cooler that goes in front of the radiator. All right, I almost never I use the ones that go here. Okay, almost never. I just put the steel lines and I route them as close as I can. Okay, And then from there on, I use the rubber hose the kit comes with. But I have that on my 67 transmission cooler. I have it in my 69 Firebird, and the 68. I still need to do it like that. But yeah, I like it. For some reason, it works for me. I never had no transmission failures, and I just like it. That's the way I do it. So I need to do that. I need to order my belts for the pulleys. And guys, the next video will be after I do my front suspension, all this that I have here. I will show you guys the disc brake conversion kit, what I spent on it, how it looks and everything. And then I'm going to do the brake lines and the exhaust. All right, if you guys want to know how this exhaust fits, is down here. I got that from Jegs, and I'll make a video on it. I have that same exhaust in my 69 and in my 68, the white car. Well, guys, this is Louis just showing you what I'm up to on this Sunday. It's been a busy weekend for me. It's been a busy whole week, actually. But I find myself to be really busy this year for some reason. I mean, on another build, I would have been way already done with having the car driving. But it is what it is. Sometimes life gets in the way and you have to stop and rethink yourself. So hopefully I have all this installed today and I could move forward to the next video of showing you guys the disc brake conversion kit. Well, guys, here's Louis. Lovebird is still going on. Take care now. Remember, like I always say, keep your hands dirty and your project will be moving forward. Bye-bye now.